A very good evening to everybody. Okay, a very good evening to all members from YMG, ASPS. Okay, and also all the guests. That new guests that had attended with us for the session tonight. Okay, a very good evening to all of you. Okay, I'm extremely delighted tonight. Okay, this evening is because that on one hand I got to meet some of the old friends, like for example, Jimin, Mr. Ching, Catherine, Tony, and those from ASPS. Okay, then also at the same time, I'm gonna meet new faces, like for example, like Arun, and Suzanne. Okay, so I believe that all of us know, each of the objectives of YMG and ASPS already. All right, but even so, let me explain, why are we having a joint meeting for today's session? Okay, we all know that YMG, the Young Entrepreneurship Meetup Group, okay, is a community where we aim to bring entrepreneurs and professionals together so that they can meet, connect, and that's where magic can happen. But of course, at the same time, we also know, to all entrepreneurs and professionals, public speaking and professional speaking is one of the important skills to have to succeed in our business. Okay, so right now, without further ado, okay, I shall pass the session over to Jimin, ASPS President. Okay, so before that, let me introduce a little bit about Jimin. Okay, Jimin is a Marshall Goldsmith Certified Executive Coach and an accredited Vistage Singapore Chair. He coaches business owners and CEOs to make better decisions and improve their leadership performance. And he has access to a network of more than 5,000 expert coaches and consultants globally. He has co-authored 3 books. His latest book, Put the Magic Back into Business, was published in February 2020 and is listed on sale on Amazon. So currently, he serves as a president for Association of Singapore Professional Speakers, ASPS. He's an independent director and member of the Singapore Institute of Directors. Okay, so without further ado, I shall pass the session to Mr. Cheng Jimin, ASPS President, to take over the session. All right, Jimin, to you, please.
Thank you, Sean, for your wonderful introduction. As I earlier mentioned, the ASPS was formed in 2004, so we have about 16 years of background already. And currently, I'm serving as the president, supported by an able team of EXCO members. So we were founded by a group of former Toastmasters and who wanted to do more than just being good at public speaking at Toastmasters clubs. So they want to take the next step to transform themselves into professional speakers. So we decided to register this association as a non-profit body registered under the Registrar of Societies. So I was one of these members, and many of them are still with us today. And we are achieving our dream of becoming professional speakers in our own right, in our own way. And ASPS, since I took over sometime this year, sometime in March, as the president, we have developed some modules on personal branding, using a personal branding tool to build credibility, public speaking with enhanced presentation skills, and a number of other different kind of modules, including technical modules like how to use Zoom, stuff like this. So we want to build up our capability, our members' capability and experience in these areas. And we also continually improve on what we have and expand the number of modules. We also have our own Slack channel where members can quickly update themselves on the developments of ASPS. So we hold monthly meetings is where we invite a keynote speaker. He will give a keynote speech for about 20 minutes and followed by a question and answer session. And then we will have an evaluation session. So this is something unique in that firstly, we give more time to the speaker. Secondly, we really ask questions of what the speaker meant on his speech, what he wanted to do, he or she wanted to say. And at the end, we give some of our feedback and evaluation. It's not just talking about the speech making process, but how he handled the whole things on technical stuff. No? Like, did he handle Zoom properly? Recording, was it done well? So we give some feedback on that. Members can talk about their business, they can talk about their personal interests, or just simply share their ideas. So in terms of the kind of format, some people do just a speech, a talk. Some others do interview format or panel discussion. I really leave it up to the speaker's creativity. We aim to use this platform as a way to help each other improve our skills and reach the next level of our development. For tonight, besides our keynote speakers, we also have a guest speaker who will share his knowledge on the subject matter expertise. I will introduce him later. Okay, our first speaker will be Catherine Goh. She will be introducing Anthony's keynote speech. She will set the context and the background of his speech. And I'll just introduce Catherine Goh, her accomplishments. Catherine Goh has more than 30 years of diverse work experiences, spanning B2B marketing, business development, training, project management, and strategic planning in the telecommunication industry, voluntary welfare and healthcare sectors. She has managed multi-million-dollar projects in the Asia-Pacific region, China, Scandinavia, and Southern Europe. She graduated with an honors degree from the University of Essex in electronic system engineering in telecommunications, and she holds a Master of Business Administration from the Cranfield University. She is currently working in the healthcare sector, focusing on population health and preventive healthcare. Catherine is also immediate past president of ASPS. For our keynote speaker, Anthony Leong, he graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree from Eastern Michigan University of the USA and a Master of Business Administration degree from the University of Leicester. He has worked more than 17 years in the Infocomms technology industry. He was a systems engineer at IBM working on IT systems integration projects. He worked as a financial advisory representative for 10 years. And he was past president of Toa Payoh South CC Toastmasters and New Millennium Clubs. He was also past division governor and awarded the Distinguished Toastmasters Award from Toastmasters International. He is a founder member and presently serving as secretary of the ASPS. He tells me that he's happily retired, enjoying life. So you shall see the fruits of his retirement later on in his speech. Let me invite Catherine Goh to give the introduction. Catherine, over to you.
Thanks, Jimmy. I hope you enjoyed the video just now. Okay, I put together some snippets of photos of the past, memories, precious memories of ours and mine as well. The last phrase there, ask longer vita brevis. I wonder, have you heard this phrase before? I only heard of this phrase for the very first time when Anthony, my co-speaker, shared with me his project. Ars longa, vita brevis. It's in Latin. And it means life is short, art is eternal, and thus the works of art may outlive their creators. My co-speaker, Anthony, a very good friend of mine, wants to make a remnants for the Singapore Memory Project. And what better platform to share it than at tonight's ASPS meeting. His sharing of his very personal project will trigger our desire to do likewise and inspire us to write our stories. I have the privilege to have a sneak preview of what he has done, and it has already inspired me to want to write my first story. I guess most of you would have heard about the Singapore Memory Project, SMP in short. It is a national initiative that started 9 years ago. So 9 years ago, I should say that should be in 2011. I think I'm right, 2011. He's sharing, Anthony's sharing of his very personal, okay, which as I said, it is on the Singapore Memory Project. Okay, the purpose of this Singapore Memory Project is to collect, preserve, and provide access to knowledge and information on Singapore. It is to enable us to build a national collection of various content in diverse formats. These formats could be in text, it could be in print, it could be audio, video, or images, or in whatever form that you can think of, to preserve them in digital form, and also to make them available for others, for common people like us, okay, and also for those who are coming after us, to enable them to discover and research on. It is a movement involving the whole nation. This whole of nation movement aims to capture and document precious moments and precious memories related to Singapore, stories and memories of key Singapore events, personalities and places, even recollections from various sources, be it from organizations, associations, companies, groups, as well as individual Singaporeans. Yes, indeed. Even individuals like you and I can be involved in this project. For all of us to tell the Singapore story and hopefully to draw us. I think we are Singaporeans and even those non-Singaporeans, those who are interested in Singapore, okay, from all walks of life, to, in a way, to bond together and hopefully build better social cohesion. Now, I'm sure you and I, in our life, there's always someone who stands out, someone who stands tall, someone who has a great influence in our life, someone who has greatly impacted us. Even when the person is no longer around, we treasure the memories that are left behind. Ars longa, vita brevis. Life is short, art is eternal. Let's take a walk together with Anthony down memory lane as he shares with us his precious memories of one who is no longer with us, the one who has greatly impacted him and influenced him the most, the one Anthony will always remember. So who can that be? Whose works of art outlives the creator, leaving behind treasures? Anthony, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Well, before I start sharing this short video which I made, I would like to give a short background of how it came about. It was actually partially instigated by K.W. Ching. I had signed up for an icebreaker project at my Toastmasters club. And K.W. Ching asked me to be a judge at his club contest. So, you know, I cannot be on two places at one time, although with Zoom we can, technically. But I was tasked to give a speech, an icebreaker at my club. So I asked my president whether I could video my speech and then give it to her so that they can play back and they can evaluate. While at the same time, I can be a judge using my iPad at KW Ching's contest. So one thing led to another. I created the short speech, and the next thing was that maybe I could add some pictures, etc. And the result is this short little 4-minute video whereby I add some pictures and also capture myself speaking in front of a iMac computer.
Norma Vita words. Life is short, art is long. I'm going to talk about the personality who influenced me, anchored me. Try as much, cannot get enough. It's that pervasive, that addictive,
Can't hear.
that entered entire lives. My dad's two passions were art and medicine. My dad was quite smart, and in those pre-war days, he completed his senior Cambridge GCE O-levels at 14 with a double promotion, but had to stay back to take French as he was too young to enter Raffles College. Then the war came, everything on hold, till 1945. My dad switched to medicine as his brother, a school principal, advised him on the practicality and economics of being a doctor. Upon graduation from King Edward VII College of Medicine, he became a port health officer in 1953 and got married to my mother in Easter of 1955. Maybe next time. My dad became the medical officer of Outram Prison at Pearl's Hill, and we lived at One Pearl Bank, wherein now a semi-circular skyscraper is being built. He also wrote about prisoners in C Block to be hanged on Fridays at dawn. He was medical officer at the St. John's Opium Treatment Center. Next, my dad ran the outpatient services at Maxwell Road. The island-wide outpatient services system is the forerunner of the current Singapore Polyclinics network. My dad was the chief medical officer when Singapore held the Grand Prix at the old Upper Thomson Circuit. I had the pleasure of watching races from the grandstands. It was extremely dangerous. Accidents happened. And even with the quick response of my dad to try to save a driver, his Jaguar flipped. F.A. Johns, local Johor Bahru racer, died instantly. Here is a press photo of my dad rushing up to the car wreck. Interestingly, my dad used to paint, write, cut medicine, fourth-year medical students at the Department of Social Medicine and Public Health. One of his favorite short stories even won a prize at local newspaper writing competition. As a World Health Organization consultant, he also loved to give public talks on the dangers of drug. He was the medical advisor to SOS, Samaritans of Singapore, and the Singapore Red Cross. In conclusion, my dad's life was infused with his passion for art and medicine. Wherever the art of medicine is loved, there's also a love for humanity. Doctors. Looking back, I love to think, I too would adopt the same motto. In the description of a life well lived is a life worth living.
Yeah, you must be wondering how difficult or how easy it is to make this short little video that I showed just now. And it's quite a challenge actually, because a couple of months back when I got my new iPhone, I was playing with a new app called TikTok. And in TikTok, it's quite fun. You take a short little video of about 30 seconds, then you add music and you add little special effects to it, and then you post it out to the world or to your friends to look at it. But this, to make a video like this, takes a little more effort. So I had to turn to a free application that came from my iMac. It's called iMovie. How many of you have heard of iMovie? Okay, very good. Have you all tried using it? No. Okay, yes. It's not easy. So what was the next step? I went into the internet and watched a 6-part tutorial called the iMovie editing. And I shared it with KW. I do not know whether he has watched the tutorial, but after watching the tutorial, it's you get an idea of how you can get your video, pick up some music, and also photos, pictures, diagrams, whatever. And what happens is that you open iMovie. Allow me to see if I can open my iMovie and share it with you. It's quite a huge program. So as you can see on the screen, my video is just above the green zone. And then you have the titles, etc. So the music is together here. And what happens is that when I click on my project called My First Movie, you see all the items on the screen on the left side top window, which are used in the movie. So one by one, you take up the movie, and then you take the mouse and you click and place it in. So let's say if I'm going to add something here, okay. Let's say I add this drawing that my dad made. And then I go over there and then I play it back.
Try as much. I cannot get it.
So now you see, it has included a picture
that dented
into the play.
My dad's two passions were art and medicine.
So you must be wondering how come this music, particular music, is so loud. So at first I couldn't figure out how to make the music softer. And I found out later on that I can adjust the volume here. You see here, now it's at 8%. And it can go higher. And likewise, for the audio, I can adjust the audio, how loud it is. But somehow, when you export it into that movie clip that I gave, some elements are lost along the way, which I don't understand why. So this iMovie is actually the entry-level video editing tool. The first thing that KW asked me was, is there anything better than this? So I said, yes. Apple, they spent a big sum of money and they bought over this Adobe product called Final Cut Professional, FCP. So that is probably my next project to do. Find out what does FCP do, and maybe you can add on. Now, besides the video, the music, etc., you can even add subtitles. For those who are hearing impaired, many movies and TV shows you watch, you have subtitles. And for those who do not know, subtitles are usually married with a video called .srt, and that is a subtitle file. In the case of this, I also did try to get subtitles, and there is a website called Kapwing, Kapwing. This Kapwing website, you can join there. It's free joining. And what they do is they use artificial intelligence. So I can pick up the video and drop it into the Kapwing website. And after that, they will provide you with a hard-coded subtitles, not the SRT file. If you want to get an SRT file whereby you can change it into multiple languages, you got to pay for that feature. To you, Jimmy.
Okay, thank you, Anthony, for giving us a walk down memory lane. And the next segment will be on the Q&A. So we have a 10-minute Q&A session where we can ask any question of Anthony regarding his speech preparation, why he chose a topic. No? So anyone can ask a question. Okay, I'll just start off with this question.
Yes.
You have a very interesting, your father did a lot of interesting things. And would it be, what made you try to truncate to such a short piece? Actually, would you be better if you can give more examples of what your father did? What are your thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. As I mentioned earlier, this was actually in preparation for Icebreaker project. And in the Icebreaker, it's only 4 to 6 minutes. So my Toastmasters Icebreaker project was around 5 minutes with a bit of preamble. And it's always wise to keep it short, for me at least. So that's why it's relatively short and also touching on the high points of what I recall. The key things that my father did and he did with me, etc. Of course, he was with me by practically 3/4 of my life so far. So a lot of good memories.
Good. Any questions from the floor?
I have a question.
Okay, Suzanne.
Tony, why did you choose Lover's Tears as the backdrop music?
Yeah, this Sandy Lam, I like that tune very much. And I'm not very good at Chinese, but I know that it's a very sad song. But Dick Lee, he's a brilliant guy. He used to be my SGI classmate. And he made a big difference, in the pop scene in Singapore. For instance, in this particular song, he managed to give it a very good upbeat to it. He kept saying papadam, papadam, papadam. And so that's why I chose it. I hope you all like it.
How long do you have to take to do the production from start to finish? From the time you came up with the idea until you have a finished product, how long do you take?
Oh my gosh, too long, man. And actually it was quite stressful because I wasn't familiar with videography. And the first few takes that I did, I was using my my iPhone, right? And then that final take which I took, I was using the the 1080p camera from my iMac. So it still leaves a lot to be desired. I tried using my Lumix, which has supposed to have 4K, but it didn't come out very well. I just didn't know how to convert from whatever was format in Lumix into the iMac format, which is a .mov format, QuickTime format. And so, like I said, the project that I did for the Toastmasters was just a short video only, 5-minute video face on, without any music, without any, well, I did add music actually, because I play in the background and then I video myself. So it wasn't combined in the app itself. And then KW told me that, he told me that there's a tool to bring down the movie, to bring down the music from the internet onto my computer. So that was a real help, So I got the Dick Lee song from a YouTube video, which is called Needle Drop. That was apparently this needle drop. It was actually picked up from a record player. So the original sound actually came from a record player. So it's very rich and very sonorous. Now, like I said, I took many takes, and I even made use of PowerPoint to what is that tool that you can use in PowerPoint, I wrote down the speech and then I put it into a PowerPoint and then separated it into 3 parts. So I took it 3 parts, but then I couldn't combine it. So I had to do the whole video in one take. And also my room is rather noisy in the daytime. So I had to capture the video in the dead of the night, after midnight, whereby when cars do not move back and forth across the road outside my house. What else?
You did the video by yourself?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's good try.
I did it by myself. I can use this little, tripod stand.
On the chat box, I think Kay Chu mentioned that it will be talk more about the legacy of the older generation and their way of bringing up their children. This is Chu's comment, and then Cindy commented, it's not easy to make video and do editing.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah.
I have a question for Tony.
Yes.
You mentioned that this video was made because of the circumstances you were in. You had to judge, and you also had to give a speech. But right. I think that this is an icebreaker speech. Why have you decided to talk about your dad instead of yourself? Because for an icebreaker speech, it's for the audience to get to know you.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Well, I've given many icebreaker speeches talking about myself before. So I thought this time, since I'm doing something called Pathways Innovative Planning, IP Pathways, and icebreaker speech is supposed to introduce, yeah, you're right, introduce myself and also introduce some of the key requirements of Pathways. And I thought that instead of talking about myself, maybe I share a little bit about the impact of my father on me. So I would like to think that whatever my father was, I am. So that's why I did this this project.
So, Tony, when you complete this video, basically you are taking something that you did for a Toastmasters meeting, that is this icebreaker.
Yes.
And then now you add in some pictures, all these things, and created this video story of your father. Is that
right.
how you did, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The added video stories whereby it was quite easy to pick up photographs and pictures and icons, etc., from out in the internet, because he was so active in government service. He was a government servant for over 30 years, and then when he retired from government, he went over to NUS to teach for another more than a decade. And during that time, he taught my classmates. He even taught my wife, and he one of his students was of course Li Wei Ling.
Oh.
And that was the 4th year medical course, whereby they are supposed to go out into the kampong or to the HDB and conduct a full-scale medical project report on whether is it their health or the types of diseases that they are suffering from, etc. So he took these students to very interesting places. He go to Chompang village, go to all those villages, the kampong huts and all that, now which are all gone already. So I do not know what they do now for the 4th year medical project actually. It's a full-scale 1 year project which leads on to passing. Of course, in Singapore, 100% of students who get into the medical course, more than 95 pass because of the stringent, I would say, pre-qualification checks.
Tony, when you finally want to submit this as a project to what you said,
SMP.
SMP.
Yes.
Will you be redoing this video all over?
Yeah, most likely, most likely I'll try to make it better.
Make it longer and.
Yeah, I do not know what are the requirements, because in the SMP, I noticed that some people have blogs and some people have dialogue sessions, etc. So I haven't decided what I'll do actually for the SMP. What is my final delivery or output for them?
Okay.
Anthony, I just like a little comment on your background.
Yes.
You have ASPS enlarged, but we cannot see. I will prefer the Chin Kok Wing one, where I can see the whole ASPS, because you're blocking it actually.
Yeah.
Just a little thought lah.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking for Chin Kok Wing's background just now and I couldn't find it.
Now we're into the evaluation segment, so I think feel free to comment. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the comment, Susan.
Maybe I make a comment, Catherine here.
Yes, Catherine.
I was thinking, first of all, it's a good effort for this video. Definitely, a lot of work has been put inside, and I don't see myself being able to do it. At least not now, lah. Hopefully, I can. I will learn from you now that you have gone through the first pain of doing whole thing. So I think for me to do it will be less painful. But I was thinking that for your SMP project, Singapore Memory Project, so because you're making use of your small room, and your small room at the back, there's a lot of I try not to use the word, you know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah.
So I think, yes, so you may not want to use the room because you do want to use it as a legacy, a remnants now for many people to have a look. So I thought that could be maybe borrow some other place, so to think. I know it's quite tough having to do it.
I think there are considerations like you can't even find a good piece of wall that has got no clutter or no picture, and so unless you put up a green screen behind you.
Yes.
But that is also
Virtual screen.
I think, Anthony, for me, my view is that you don't have to have a plain screen because these are personal stories, so you don't have to make it so, so clinical, or like a stage drop. But maybe the background, some, where could be, maybe you can see even photo frames there, but rather to tidy up so that it doesn't distract you. Because when I was watching a video, I do find quite distracting. Whether should I be looking at you and then I see this one there and say, so it draws my attention away from you who are narrating the story.
Good point.
You don't need to have ASPS backdrop. This kind of example, I think that is for a personal story. You do not want that. You really want it to set in your natural environment.
I see. Yeah.
So just only tidy up, good enough. It can. We want a bed there.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
I think whatever you use to do that video of yours, I think the camera is probably low resolution, maybe too old, because now any new generation camera is much sharper than that. I did some video for the World Speech Day, and it was only a Huawei Nova.
Oh,
I think
yes.
Suzanne can vouch. All right, just this Huawei Nova, and I have it mounted on a tripod, and there's approximately say 3/4 of a meter in front of me, and very crisp picture, and sounds very loud.
Yes.
So my only constraint actually is to have a decent background. I think Suzanne was commenting that I was taking it from my bedroom, which is actually not the case. It's not the bedroom, but you do see some throw pillows, and this is because I was sitting on the couch.
Because you take a nap on the other on the couch. Yes.
But the sound system was quite bad initially when he played. What happened?
Yeah, you're right. This sound was actually captured using the computer audio mic.
Oh.
Yeah, and I don't even have a webcam. KW, remember we tried to get a webcam on sale and we couldn't get it.
I waited for 3 months, and then
Yeah, that's right, crazy.
Okay, Tony, we have a comment from Cindy. What is the tips on elements of creating an effective video? I joined today hoping to get some tips. Any tips from you?
Besides Tony, I think afterwards also probably Suzanne can come in and also provide some tips.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I'm a full-fledged amateur, and I was kind of like on a react mode, because one thing lead to another. First, I was creating a video for icebreaker speech, and then I said maybe I should do something else, and then we had this November project together with Catherine, and after the meeting with Catherine said that I'll have to pick up more time out of it. So this is the product of some of our meetings over in Tampines, and several meetings over Zoom with KW, our advisor. So this I don't really have many tips about making a good video because I'm also learning right now, and I only picked up the skills of editing along the way using the iMovie by first watching some YouTubes, and then after that attending a Udemy course on iMovie editing, a 6-part course. Probably the next project I would like to do is to attend the FCP Udemy course to pick up more advanced features, which is quite interesting. I was trying to look for some books on it, but I couldn't. There's more stuff out in the YouTube, on video editing than anywhere else. So it's a great resource, Cindy, if you want to go into that. I watch a few YouTube videos on this YouTubers who do their video blogs, and the skills and output that they produce is simply mind-boggling. Is very, very good. They are very, very young people. When such things were invented, I was still working on mini computers.
Oh.
So,
Can we use handphone to do everything?
yes, definitely. I found out that iMovie is the latest version of iMovie is found on the iPhone. So this means that I could use the iPhone and iMovie, take the movie and then edit it there and then on the
I see.
iPhone. So you can definitely do that.
Okay.
However,
I don't know
working
whether I'm on Samsung. I don't know whether Android has got this feature.
I don't know. Maybe Suzanne can enlighten us on that. Suzanne.
Android. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Android is actually Movie Maker. So iMovie is found only in Mac. Yeah, it's found only in Mac. So if you want to look for other video editing software for Android, it's actually Movie Maker.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I think all of us should make a try and video ourselves, short clips, and then see whether we can link it all together. We should try to do it ourselves.
You can use TikTok first. Just use TikTok.
Let's start with TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a comment from Cindy. Let me see. I'm a YouTuber too. She joined the Nice Academy, hoping to get some more subscribers. She uses Filmora Wondershare software.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Cindy.
Sorry, this Suzanne, you have something to say?
Yeah, just want to add for Tony, did you use the portable mic when you were speaking, or did you just speak directly to the...
Yeah, I spoke directly to the...
Okay,
to the
because
mic on my...
Yeah, because if you use portable mic, that would actually help to enhance the quality of your sound, your audio. Yeah, because just now when we were listening to your story, there were some parts where it's not too clear.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and also just a quick tip. I know that most of the time when we were sitting down, we tell a story. It's always in a bit of a relaxed mode. But when you're telling a story about your dad, somebody you love very much, it would be great if you can inject more emotion into it.
I see.
Yeah, because ultimately he's the one person who has spent a lot of time, who's been in your life for 3/4 of your life. Yeah, so as you speak about him, right, try to put in more energy and put in more variety. More,
I see.
More power into your sharing, more emotion into your sharing.
Yes.
And then one way is I know this you're doing this as an icebreaker speech, so you have to do it from your home. But let's say if you got a chance to do this project again, you might want to consider having a conversation with the audience, video recording yourself in a place where your dad like to visit.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
I think that will actually bring in that element of nostalgia. You see that this is a place that my dad and I used to spend time together
Oh, okay.
as a child. And then from there, right, then that will kick off that whole narration process of you telling your story. And then actually bring people in to experience your story as a result of that. Yeah, I think that would help.
That's good tip.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I think we are at the end of this evaluation session, and we'll be very soon. We have our next speaker is already standby ready. Okay, and firstly, I would like to thank Catherine and Anthony for giving us such a marvelous sharing, taking the first step up. I think that's very courageous. It's the first time we do anything is always difficult, but as we do second, third, fourth time, we become more and more expert. So I like the music, you know, and I think both of you are done very well. Well, let me talk about the next speaker. Okay, we're talking about the past, we shift to the present digital world. I mean, there's one thing that has become clear in 2020, it will be the increasing demand for interaction through technology and digital means. Therefore, it is important to not only have an increase in social emotional intelligence, but digital social emotional intelligence too. Tonight, our next speaker will explore how to pick up some basic cues which people with different styles might show. Now, our guest speaker is Zenas Lee. He's a youth development consultant. Zenas has been in the training and development space for the past 8 years and has been certified as a DISC practitioner for the past 5 years. In his interaction with others, he has come to realize how this skill set of understanding people enabled him to better connect to his target audience. He'll be talking about connecting through connections, how to maximize your digital interaction with people. Okay, over to you, Zenas.
All right, cool. Thanks, Jimin, for the invitation to just come and share. If I can, okay, let me just share my screen with you so that you all can see. In my session, it's going to be slightly different, correct? I always tell this to people that I'm or the sessions that I always do with, the less I talk, the better. You know why? Because the less I talk, then the more you interact, the more you get to learn, correct? So that's the whole reason why I'm here. Okay, so just a very, very quick introduction. If you can see my screen right now, give me a thumbs up so that I know that you are seeing my screen. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Okay, so just going to run through a very, very quick and short introduction of who I am, where I'm currently at. Okay, so I'm currently representing this company called Bryden Group. So what we do is that basically we have two main wings. We have our corporate wing as well as our youth development wing. So what I do is that I focus a lot more on the youth development side of things. Okay, so as Jimin has already introduced me slightly just now, I'm just going to go into a little bit more details on why I chose to do what I do. As a youth, correct? I'm sure we all know that, hey, you know what, in Singapore, right? Wow, the pressure to get good grades is something that is very, very high, correct? That pressure to perform is very high. And by the way, PSLE results just came out yesterday, right? Or yeah, was it yesterday? Yeah. And this whole thing about this emphasis on academics, right, really caused me to be molded in a certain way, correct? Basically, how I saw myself was highly determined on my grades. Correct. And that was something that I felt that isn't really right. And that's why I joined this industry, because I believe that I can make a difference to every single one of the youths that I come into contact with. Okay, but I know some of you might be wondering, hey, but this guy talking about youths, I know I look quite young. I am, but I've also some corporate experience whereby I've been training in a corporate clients. Heard of this company called WSG? Yeah, I've been working with them. We have also worked with SETS Academy, Hilton, Prudential as well. So those are just some of the clients that I have worked with over my years. And basically, just a bit more about the company and why we do what we do. So about us, we are basically, one thing that sets us apart is that we highly believe in evidence-based approaches towards things. So for example, whenever we want to implement like a program or a course or a workshop, we will always try and do research and make sure that it's backed up by scientific data. Okay, so later on during the session, I'll be sharing more with you about some of the scientific data that we've gathered on this model of DISC. Okay, so I'm just going to breeze through this very, very quickly. We are known for this leadership model called the Leadership Challenge. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of this before, but Leadership Challenge is one of our main core competencies. Another one is that we are the master distributor and certification body for the Apex DISC certification program. Okay, we have really reached out in the region. We have been to countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, Indonesia. Definitely this was before COVID, but because of COVID, things changed, correct? So I just wanted to get a very quick understanding if anybody can relate to me in this situation, okay? So there's a very, very quick show of hands. You know, during this time in COVID, during this whole COVID situation, right, correct? How many of you find that, hey, my time that I spend online has gone up significantly? And when I mean significantly, it means that it has more or less almost doubled since before COVID. Anyone? The amount of time that you spend online? Okay, if you can give me a show of hands, then cool. Okay, so a lot of us, basically, we spend a lot more time, you know, writing emails, correct? WhatsApp, correct? Drafting messages and really just connecting people online. And I always hear people say this, hey, you know what, Zenas, I struggle with connecting with people online, correct? Different connecting with people online and connecting with people face-to-face is something that is very different, correct? And true, it is very different. However, what I'm here to do is that I'm here to share with you some tips, some tricks on how we can better engage these people online. Correct? At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and actually the skills that we have in person can be applied in the digital world as well. Okay, so I'm just going to be sharing with you a little bit more about what DISC is and why I'm trying to bring up DISC in this whole thing about the digital world. Okay, so again, just give me a quick show of hands if you've ever experienced this before. Correct? You're writing a message to someone, and then this person just replies with one letter, K. Just says K. Correct? Yeah. Okay. I see some of you doing that. How about other people like this? When you talk to them, you ask them about their day. Hey, you know, how have you been? You know, have you had your lunch or whatever? And then they just reply, yeah. You know, and then they go straight into the facts. Correct? And then they just talk straight about, hey, what are we here to talk? What are we here to discuss about? And then so on and so forth. Correct? Or have you ever met people who always use a lot of emojis, you know, use a lot of heart shape, the smiley face, all that kind of thing, correct? Basically, all these people, correct, they are representing themselves online, correct? That's essentially who they are. And it's no different in the digital world that we can actually learn how to pick up on these small cues to be able to identify their style and how can we work with them better. So that's what I'm here to share with you. So first things first, I'm gonna be talking about this thing called DISC. Same thing again, just a quick show of hands. How many of you have heard of this thing called DISC before? This personality profiling. Heard of it before? Okay, cool. There's a few. Okay, about half of you. Okay, cool. So for those who have heard of it, correct? Good as well. Let me just explain it so that we all have a common understanding of what DISC is before I move on. So first things first, DISC is essentially okay. We've all heard of this thing called personality profiling tools, correct? DISC falls under under that category as a personality profiling tool, or the more chim terms we'll call it a psychometric tool. Basically, it measures people's psyche and whatever it is lah. Okay, so understand these few things. Number one, DISC is an observable language, meaning I don't need to interact with any one of you in order to tell what kind of DISC style you have. So just by just by me being in this whole thing and observing how you behave, correct? I can roughly tell what kind of style you are. Okay, and that's something very interesting, and that's something that you're going to be I'm going to be attempting to teach you to pick up this skill. Okay, next thing, DISC is a neutral language, and what I mean by that, a neutral language just basically means that there's no such thing as a good, bad, better, or worse DISC style. Understand that they are all different expressions of the styles, but at the end of the day, correct, each of the style has their own strengths and has their own weaknesses. So no style is perfect. Okay. Next, it is a universal language. So wherever you go on earth, okay, even if you interact with partners or business partners or people from overseas, correct, other countries, despite of the culture, despite their language, you can still identify certain quirks, certain traits that they exhibit. And that's how we categorize them into the different categories. Last but not least, it is a silent language. I don't need to speak to that person in order for me to understand that person's style. Basically, at the end of the day, DISC is the universal language of behavior and emotion. Okay, if I can summarize it even more, DISC is observable behavior. It is about the behaviors that we can observe using our eyes. Okay, so DISC, I'm just going to give us 2 questions to ask ourselves when we come to this stage of, hey, how do I identify whether person A is a what style, correct? So I'm going to give you 2 questions to ask yourself. Do you have any writing materials with you? Have, okay, great. Wow, you guys can be prepared. Okay, so if you can write this down or take screenshots of it, that would really help with this whole session and this whole experience that you have. So DISC, as you can see on the screen over here, okay, I'm going to open up my laser pointer. Okay, cool. So DISC is basically split into 4 different major components. Okay, the D style, I style, S style, and the C style. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 questions to ask yourself very quickly, and by asking yourself those 2 questions, you can actually identify with about 50% accuracy, 50 to 60% accuracy, that person's style. Okay, so the first question you ask yourself is this: hey, is this person an active person, or are they a responsive person? That's the first question you ask yourself. Okay, second question you ask is this: hey, is this person a task-oriented individual, or is this person a people-oriented individual? By asking yourself these 2 questions, you can more or less classify people into certain categories. Okay, and by classifying them in those categories, we then work with them a lot better. We engage them a lot better. We connect with them a lot better. Okay, so I'm just going to give you about 5-10 seconds to copy this down. If you want to take a screenshot of it, okay, we're going to be using this to go through what DISC is in a bit. Yes, great. Pull out your phones. Make use of the technology that you have. Everything don't need to copy on. It's okay. We're living in a world of technology now. Correct. Okay, cool. So I'm going to be moving on, and throughout the whole session, correct, if you have any questions, pen them down first. We will have a time of Q&A at the end, and I'll love to clarify any questions that you have. Okay, so very quickly, I'm just going to run through what the different styles are, what they mean, correct, certain characteristics, certain traits that they have. Okay, so the first style that I want to be talking about is what I call the dominant style, D style people. D style. So if I can give you an example of a D style person, correct? A D style, a very famous and obvious D style person in Singapore is none other than one of our late prime ministers, correct? Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, correct? You realize that, hey, you know what? Okay, I'm going to be describing certain characteristics of him, and then let's see if you can put a picture to that in your mind. Okay, he is extremely direct and decisive person, correct? High ego strength. When it says high ego strength, basically it means that he believes very much in my way is the right way. Next, he is extremely good at problem solving. Whenever he's tasked with a problem, his main objective is to solve that problem, get rid of it, solve it as efficiently and as quickly as possible. Last but not least, these people are extreme risk takers. They self-start, correct? If they see a need somewhere, they initiate. They go in and say, hey, you know what? I see this need, I'm going to solve it, correct? And how they work is that they work very well with challenge. When people challenge them, wow, they feel, okay, you challenged me, right? I'm going to prove you wrong that I can do it. Okay, so that's how they work. Certain values, certain strengths that they have are basically these. Number one, they are bottom line organizers, as mentioned just now, correct? These people are extremely task-driven people. So as you can see over here, these people are active, they're active people, and they're task-oriented people. Okay, so active just basically means that they will move towards other people to do what they want, which is the task. Okay, active just means moving forward to, moving towards. Okay, they place a very high value and emphasis on time. So for example, when dealing with this D style person, correct? Once time is an issue, the D style person will feel very like, this person has wasted my time. You know, why are you even talking? Stuff like that. Next, these people love to challenge the status quo because they hate routine. Correct? They don't like things to be mundane. They like things to be dynamic. Correct? They like things to always be changing and always be challenging. Last but not least, they're extremely innovative people because number one, their mind just goes in solving problems. Okay, whenever they see a situation, they see what is the problem here, how can I solve it? What's going through their mind? I don't care how it's done, just get it done. Okay, and that's why ideas can come quite freely for them. So these are what we call the D style people or the dominant style people. Okay, just take note, important one over here. These people are active, they move towards other people, and they are task-oriented people. Okay, that is the first style, D style. Next, I style. Okay, anybody know this actor who has now become a director called Stephen Chow?
Yes.
Okay, so we are all familiar with Stephen Chow, correct? His movies are extremely comedic, correct? Very, very cartoon, like it's like cartoon, but in real life, that kind, correct? Talk the hey, dong or sound, that kind of thing. And you realize that, hey, his style of doing things, right, correct? Number one, he is a very active person. He moves towards people to get his task done, correct? Or to meet his needs. And his objective and his focus is always on people, making people laugh, correct? So, certain characteristics, certain things that can be used to describe an I style person. Number one, they are extremely enthusiastic people. Energy level super high one. Okay. Next, they are people who are very, very trusting, very, very optimistic. They always like to see things as, hey, the cup is always half full. No such thing as half empty one. Okay, cup is always half full kind of people. They love talking. When you give them the spotlight, right? They talk non-stop. Then you must ask them to shut up one. That kind of people. Okay. Next, extremely creative as well. Okay, because they are people oriented, correct? Their mind flows with many different kinds of ideas, correct? Not just ideas that will benefit themselves, but ideas that will benefit other people as well. Okay. Next, sometimes they might tend to be a little bit more impulsive in nature, a little bit more emotional. Okay. Certain strengths that they bring to the team or to a setting will be this. They are extremely creative, as mentioned just now. They love encouraging people, correct? They love to motivate one another. What brings them joy, what brings them motivation is seeing people enjoy being with them. That brings them the most satisfaction, the most joy. Okay. Okay, this one, positive sense of humor. I don't know, okay, but they try to have a positive sense of humor, okay. Last but not least, they are extremely negotiable people, meaning whenever they see conflicts, whenever they see, hey, there's a disagreement, they will always come in and try to negotiate the conflicts. Correct? Are there any common grounds that we can agree on? So important again, remember, I style people, they are active, they move towards other people, people orientated, correct? They love relationships. Okay, so next we have the S style people. S style. Okay, so certain, or rather, if I can give you a character or a person to think about this person called Mother Teresa. All familiar with Mother Teresa? Very self-sacrificing person, very giving, very, doesn't judge people based on the outside, and then just sees all people as the same. Right? She just sees them as people, these are some of the characteristics that describe Mother Teresa, or what we call the S-style people. Number one, they are extremely good listeners, and they are super good team players. They're extremely loyal as well. Okay, these people are possessive. They are possessive because they are possessive of not just their belongings or their materials, but they're also possessive of relationships. Right? So these people, right, are the people who cannot let go on. Basically, okay. Next, they are extremely steady, extremely predictable people. Their life basically goes on autopilot most of the time. Correct? They are on cruise control. For example, okay, if I can give you an example, they wake up in the morning, they are moving about, their brain not awake, the body awake. Correct? What they do? Still don't know. Go to the toilet, take the toothbrush. You don't know what they're doing one. Correct? Then after that, finish already, then go make the bread, make kaya. Then what happened? Suddenly got no butter. How? Remember the SR people, they like routine, they like predictability. Right? If no butter, cannot eat the kaya, throw away. I go outside and buy kaya. Correct? They will literally go to this kind of drastic means to get their routine fixed. Correct? They are also extremely loyal, extremely understanding and friendly, warm people basically. Okay. So the strengths that they have when it comes to interacting with them, they are very, very reliable people, but this depends on whether you earn their trust. Once you have earned their trust, correct, these people are the ones that will die for you. Correct? They'll go all out in helping you. Okay. They are extremely loyal team workers, as already mentioned. This important. They are super compliant towards authority or any kind of rules, any kind of authority figure. They're super compliant. Reason why? they don't like conflict. They're extremely conflict averse. Okay. They are good listeners, super patient, empathetic people, and they're good at reconciling conflicts. Okay. As mentioned, they are conflict averse. So these people are responsive and they are people orientated. Responsive basically just means this. Instead of, so just now we went through the active people move towards other people, responsive people pull back. Okay, responsive people pull back. So S-style people are responsive and they are people orientated. Okay, they treasure relationships a lot as well. Last but not least, we have the C-style. C-style, basically some words that describe the C-style is conscientious style. Okay, and something to take note of. Number one, they are responsive people. Same thing again, they move away from people, correct? Task-orientated, they are extremely focused on objectives. Okay, certain strengths, certain characteristics that they have. Number one, extremely critical, extremely analytical people. Okay, if I can give an example of who this person is. Okay, have you all seen golf? Any golf tournaments before? All know this golfer called Tiger Woods? Or no? Okay, if you have seen this sport of golf, okay, no offense to people who play golf, but it's boring enough, correct? No action one, correct? They just hold the stick, correct? They hold the golf club, then they pretend to hit so many times, but actually never hit. They unpractice round, practice only, correct? Then after that, when they really hit, wow, but it's very precise, correct? You realize that? So these people are correct. Imagine this. Instead of guesses going through their minds, right? They're actually making calculations. Okay, this angle plus the angle equals what? Wow, they're making all these kind of calculations in their mind. Okay. These people are also very cautious, very careful, because they don't want to make mistakes. Correct. They're extremely detailed people. These people are what we call the perfectionistic kind of people. Correct. Wow, cannot stop one. Wow, must okay. My mom is like that. My mom is like that. She will do this one. Okay. I know. Okay. I'm gonna give you a warning first. My mom is special. Okay. So what she'll do is this. Normally, how we wash clothes nowadays, just take the clothes, bam, inside the washing machine, detergent, wash. Correct. Let the machine do its job. My mom will do this. Wow, got stain. Rub until the stain come out. Then she'll throw the thing inside the washing machine. Then I'm like, Mom, why must do that? The washing machine will do that for you already. You cannot trust the washing machine. Cannot. I do. It's okay. Okay, lor. Correct. So they are extremely detailed people. Wow, when small things are off, right, they can see it, right, and they'll pinpoint on it one. Okay. As mentioned, they are very precise people and they hold very high standards of themselves and of other people as well. Okay. Certain strengths that they bring to the team or certain strengths in connecting with them. Number one, they are extremely good at anchoring people to reality. Correct. They might ask questions like, what makes you say so? Correct. How can this be done? Correct. Give me the facts. What are the details in this whole plan? Correct. They're extremely thorough and they like to criticize. Okay, not because they're out to get people. No, they criticize because they have a need for detail. That's basically why they're criticizing things. Okay, so don't take it personally when they come and ask you, hey, how come this is not like that? And then they ask you, they bomb you with questions, right? Correct. Understand that they're not trying to make your life hard. They're trying to make their life easier. Okay, basically that's why it is. And the last but not least is this: they are extremely bound to definitions and boundaries. So if definitions, boundaries are not clearly set, they feel very uncomfortable. For example, okay, I'm going to give you an example. If you can relate to this, nod your head. Okay, so let's say a friend asks you to go and buy kopi for them. Let's say I'm your friend. Then I ask all of you, hey friend, can help me go buy kopi? Okay, help me buy kopi. Then I go away because I'm busy. C-style people, right, what will go through their mind is, what kind of kopi you want? Hot, cold. What kind of kopi you want? Kopi O, kopi C, kopi Gao. What kind of kopi you want? Got a lot of kind of kopi. Next, correct? You want kopi xiu dai, You want add sugar, less sugar, You want whatever, Basically, those are all the questions that will run through their mind, correct? They need detail, correct? And these are the C-style people. So, in a very quick summary, okay, DISC, active, responsive, top down, top and bottom, okay, or task and people. Okay, so these are the categories that we slot them in. Okay, to help you to remember this slightly clearer. Okay, these style people say this: I don't care how it's done, as long as it's done my way. Okay, that's what these style people say. Get it done. I style people say this: wow, everyone, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Just I don't do it, can already. Yay, that kind of thing. Okay. S style people, you will always hear them saying this: hey, come guys, people, friends, let's do this together. Let's do it together. Let's come along this journey together. You know, I'm with you, I'm for you. These style people, correct? They will always be saying this: hey, how can this be done better? Correct? Remember, definitions, clarity, boundaries. Correct? So that is in a nutshell the different DISC styles. Okay, so I'm just going to give you some data that we have collected over the years, and this data is specific to Singapore. Okay, specific to a Singapore context. So I'm going to show you this data, and this data might shock you. Okay, so number one, these style people are the rarest. They just consist of 3% of the population. Why? If there's too many D styles, nothing will work. Everyone will just be fighting one another. Correct? My way, I'm right. Okay, I style people, 11%. Okay, not too many as well, about 10% there. Okay, why not too many? Because if we have too many of these kind of people, then what will happen is that have a lot of fun, talk a lot of nonsense, nothing get done. So, okay. S-style people, on the other hand, one of the biggest population, one of the biggest masses, numbers, they make up about 69% of the population. So if you realize in the Singaporean context, many people are more withdrawn, they're more reserved, they're more responsive, and they are actually more people-orientated. Correct. Next, the second highest is the C-style at 17%. 17%. Okay, so this is the general population data that we have collected over the years of the Singapore population. Okay, so this helps you to understand, hey, how many times out of 10 people, how many people will be style, how many people will be I style, how many people will be S style, and how many people will be C style. Basically, a good 6 out of 10 people, 6 to 7 out of 10 people will be S style people. Okay, so if you can position that as the get-go, you're pretty much safe. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is this. Okay, I don't believe in just talking all the time. Remember, I said the less I talk, the better. Okay, now comes for the time that you guys talk and answer some stuff. Okay, so I'm going to be giving you a short quiz. Don't worry, no pass, no fail. But I just want to give you an example of how we can use DISC to identify people's styles, even though we don't meet face to face. Okay, so just purely through text, we can tell what kind of person style that is. Okay, so I'm going to show you a Facebook post. How many of us have Facebook accounts over here? Facebook accounts. Okay, quite a few of us have. Okay, thank you very much. So this guy called Michael, correct? He decided to, there's a bit free one day lah. So what he decided to do is this. He decided to put a random thing out and say, hey guys, you know, what is the worst WhatsApp group chat you're in and can I join it? Okay, Michael said this. And one of his friends said, hey, Michael, you know, I'm in one of these group chats called Buy and Sell on WhatsApp. It's the worst group chat ever invented. You know, there's like 100 people trying to sell their worthless junk. It's terrible, but kind of fascinating. Okay, and then Michael says this, you must add me in immediately. Okay, and then his friend says, sure, we'll do. So Michael gets added into the WhatsApp group by his friend. Okay, and this group is called Buy and Sell. Correct. And okay, basically this is a UK. This is a UK in the UK context. Like they're using euros over there. Okay. So basically when he first entered, he saw this was the first post that he saw. So this lady by the name of Catherine, correct? She wanted to sell her stereo speakers. So she put a picture of her stereo speakers in and she wanted to sell it. She says this, hey, anyone interested in these stereo speakers? Correct, it's very good condition. It works perfectly. I'm looking for 30 euros. Thank you. This guy called Noah comes in and says this. Hey, the speaker on the right looks damaged. Catherine then replies and says, hey, that's why I say it's in very good condition, but not perfect, not excellent. Only minor damages. It doesn't affect the sound. Okay? So that's what Catherine says. Okay? Now, this green one is Michael. Okay, Michael. Remember the guy on the Facebook said that, hey, add me into your worst group ever? This is Michael. Michael says this, Catherine, is the blue bucket included? Okay, just to help you see again, the blue bucket is here. Okay, it's not even the main thing she's selling. Okay, so she want to sell the speaker, but Michael says, hey, are you selling the bucket in the background? And then Catherine is like, haha, okay, sure, if you want. And then Michael says this, can I buy the bucket without the stereo speakers? So Catherine says, how much? Michael then replies, Catherine, I'll give you €1. That is my final offer. Unless you reject it, I will immediately come back with an improved offer for you. Then Catherine ting and say, no lah, actually not worth it lah. It's not worth that €1, sorry. So what happened is this, she essentially rejected Michael's offer. So Michael said, sure, okay, I give you now €1.01. That's my final offer. Unless you reject it, in which case I will immediately return with an improved offer. Okay, everybody follow along so far in this conversation? Ken? Okay, so basically, this lady called Catherine is trying to sell something. Michael is trying to do something. Okay, let's look at what he's trying to do. So Catherine still says no. Catherine rejected his offer of €1.01. So Michael says this, now I'm going to give you €1.02. Okay, that is my final offer. Unless you reject it, in which case I immediately will return with an improved offer. And then Catherine says this. Catherine got a bit, irritated already. She says, no, I'm not selling you. I'm not selling to you now. So don't bother bidding again. We don't do 1 cent increments over here. Please respect the sellers. Correct? That's what she said. And then Patrick, this person comes in and suddenly says this. Hey, Catherine, I'll offer you a tenner. A tenner basically just means 10 euros, $10 lah. I'll offer you a tenner for the stereo speakers if that's what you're looking for to start the bid. Correct? And then Catherine then goes on and says, hey, thanks, Pat. I'm hoping to get more money out of it because it's still in really good condition. And but I will keep your offer in mind now. Okay, that's what Catherine says. So next, basically what happens is this. Catherine rejected Patrick's offer, and then Patrick just replied, no bother, no worries, it's fine. Right? And then Michael did this. Michael doesn't have Patrick's number, so he put a bracket and he said, this is a private message to Patrick, but he put it onto the group chat. Okay, and this is what he says. Okay, he says this. Hi Pat, Michael here. Could you increase your offer for Catherine's stereo speakers to €11.02 if she includes the blue bucket? Once the sale goes through, I will then give you €1.02 for the bucket. Shh, don't tell Catherine it's from me. Thanks. And but bear in mind, he posts this in the main group chat. And then Catherine obviously sees it and she says, I told you that I'm not selling anything to you. Take a hint. Basically means that you buay paise, correct? You don't know how to see things. I'm trying to reject you. I don't want you to put any offer anymore. Correct? And then Michael replies, don't read my private messages. But he posted it on the group chat. Okay. Then after that, Catherine comes out and says, yeah, but you posted it in the group, you genius. By the way, this is sarcasm. She's trying to be sarcastic with Michael. Okay. And then Michael does this. He comes back and says, hi all, I'm selling this blue bucket if anyone wants to buy it. One previous mean owner. The bid starts at €1.03. So basically what he did was this. He took a screenshot of Catherine's picture and he just posted this corner of the blue bucket only. Correct? And he's trying to sell the thing now. He's trying to sell something that's not even his. Okay? And then Catherine seeing it, she says, hey, that's my bucket. The picture is cropped for mine. Correct? And then Michael says, no, it's not. It's a blue bucket I bought from Pat. You interested? He's trying to sell the thing back to her, even though he hasn't even bought it. Correct? And then Catherine goes on and says this. Catherine get really frustrated already. He says this, hey, can one of the admins deal with this? That's the image that Michael sent was cropped from my image. He doesn't even own it. It's not even a real item. And then Michael replies, but you can buy it from me for €1.03. Catherine says, I already own it. Michael says, that's the spirit. I love it. Wow, you own it. Good. Correct. Please PayPal me the €1.03 at your earliest convenience and I'll deliver it to you later. I'll leave it to the left of your stereo speakers. Okay? Ken? So, right. Now that I've made a profit of €1.03, I'm out of here. So long, suckers. And then he leaves the group chat. He leaves the group chat. Okay? So, that's a very, very quick recap. Okay? We have some characters in this whole scenario. Correct? We have some main characters. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Ask yourself these two questions. Okay, active, responsive. That's the first question you ask. Second question, task orientated or people orientated. Okay, so question: what are the DISC styles of the following people in this story? Okay, let's look at these three people first. Okay, Michael, Pat, and Catherine. What style do you think Michael is? Anyone can unmute and just say. Go for it. Michael. Think about it. Is he active or is he passive? Does he move towards people to get his need, or does he move away from people to get what he wants? What do you think?
I think it's
Sorry?
Active.
Active? Good. Correct. So he moves towards, correct? He sought out that opportunity. Next, do you think he's a task-oriented person or is a people-oriented person?
Task.
Task, okay. Anybody else? What do you think? Task or people?
Task.
Task. What makes you say that he's a task-oriented person?
He's very focused in his questions, and he's like, really hitting to. He's not afraid to ask very tough questions that will offend people. He just wants his way.
Interesting.
Yes, he just want to get it to his way.
But I ask you this question: was he in that group to buy anything at all? What was he in that group for?
I think it's testing the waters.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, right, he is not a task-oriented person at all. He has no objective. His only objective is to go in there and just ji-xiao people only. Correct? So actually, Michael is an I-style person. I-style. Remember, I-style people, they are active, they move towards, and they are people-oriented. So another way to describe I-style, people call this I stands for innovative, some say irritating lah. Okay, some say irritating. Okay, so that is Michael. So Michael was the main character. Next, correct, there's another person called Catherine. Catherine, what style do you think Catherine was? Okay, let's ask ourselves, is she an active person or a responsive person?
I think she's responsive.
Spot on, Fleming. Yeah, she is a responsive person. You realize that she responded to people's, she responded to the guy's messages only when he gave a message, correct? Next, do you think she's a task or people-oriented person?
Probably people.
People, interesting.
Task.
Task. Arun says task. Why? Okay, Arun, why do you say task?
Because she's only interested in selling.
Exactly. Yeah. Her main focus there is I want to sell my stuff. I don't care. I just want to sell my stuff for that amount of money. Correct. So Catherine is very good. You have identified it correctly. She is a C style. Okay. How about this person called Pat? Okay. Pat only appears in a couple of messages, but let me show it to you. Pat appears here. Correct. Pat says, hey, I'll offer you a tenner for the serious speakers if that's what you're looking for. Question, is Patrick, do you think he wants to buy anything from Catherine? What is he trying to do?
He's trying to calm things down or reassure her.
Correct. He's actually trying to calm things down. He's trying to help Catherine out because Pat realizes that, hey, there's this bugger that is trying to disturb Catherine, correct? So, question, do you think Pat is a active person or responsive person?
Responsive, I think.
Responsive, good. Responsive. People or task-oriented?
People.
People, good. You realize that his objective was to help Catherine out. She's dying, she's suffering, correct? So good, correct? This Pat is actually an S-style person. Catherine is actually a C-style. Remember, C-style people extremely fixed on objectives. I just want to do my stuff. S-style people very relational, correct? I want peace to be on earth. Okay. Last but not least, I'm not sure if you guys realize that there's this other person called Noah. Do you realize that there's a Noah? He appeared once. Let me show it to you. Noah appeared right and early and said this. Catherine wanted to sell a speaker, said that hey, it's very good condition, 30 euros. Noah suddenly come in and say, speaker on the right looks damaged. After that, you go on and read. He never appears anymore, correct? Okay, so what do you think? Noah, is he an active person or a responsive person?
Active in pointing things.
Active, good, active. Task or people person?
Task.
Task. My objective here is to just tell Catherine, your speaker got problem. I don't care about anything else already. I don't even bother to reply you. Correct? So that's right. Noah is actually a D style.
D style.
Yeah. So in this very, very short activity, right? Correct. Within this half an hour, correct? I really hope that you're able to now start to identify and pick up certain trends, certain small things that you can see through the way people text. Correct. Remember the examples I gave you just now. People who just reply with a single letter K. Correct. And these people are probably your D style people. Correct. They just reply you because they just need to reply you. Correct. People use a lot of emojis. Wow, a lot of emojis, exclamation marks. I style people. S-style people ask you, hey, are you okay? How have you been? Hey, long time never see you, want to catch up? With no strings attached one. C-style people, they will always ask questions and ask details. Hey, where are we meeting later? What time are we meeting? What are we going to eat? That kind of thing. Get all those kind of questions come up. Okay, so the point here is this. It is important for us to be able to look out for this and be aware of this because, I mean, we've all heard this term being thrown out, correct? The new normal is coming. The new normal is here, correct? And essentially, COVID-19, as all of you would know, correct, it's about 1 year already. It's actually about 1 year already, correct? It came out last year in December, or late November, December. It's about 1 year. And specifically in Singapore, phase 3 might last for more than 1 year, correct? So understand this. My core purpose here is for you to equip me with some skills in understanding how to identify the different styles through an online means. Okay, and I hope that you've taken something away from today. So yes, we have come to the important part. Q&A. Any questions, any thoughts that are going through your mind right now? I would love to hear from you.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, Suzanne.
Okay, just looking at D-style people. Now, which of the 3 style, I, C, and S, find it the most difficult to relate and work with D-style people?
All of them.
all of them, but there's no like particular group now.
There is a particular group
right.
Struggles to understand them more than the rest. That is the S-style people. Okay, so if I can go back to the image, let me go back to. Let me see, and here we go. Okay, yeah. So these style, realize they are active and they're task-oriented people. They conflict the most with the S-style people because they are responsive and they're people-oriented. Classic example, husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. Someone, they want to go out and have dinner, correct? And the person will ask the other person, where you want to have dinner? Then what will the S-style person say? Oh, anything one you choose. But actually not anything one. Inside their mind actually got something on, right? But they want us to read minds on. Correct. So now the D-style person say, hey, now I got a task to solve. I need to figure out what my partner want to eat, and then I need to go and eat. Correct. So then they will argue with each other a lot. But with that being said, right, even though they have a lot of potential to conflict with one another, they also have very, very tremendous potential to support and complement one another. So Suzanne, to answer your question, S-style conflicts with them the most. However, C-style also conflict with them. I-style also conflict with them. But S-style conflicts with them the most because they are directly opposite. Okay.
Oh, Zinas, are there people in the middle? That means totally balanced. Is there such
people in the middle?
Yeah. Is there such a person?
Okay, Jimmy, good question. First of all, DISC, everyone has all 4 DISC styles. Everyone has all 4. Correct. It's just which do we prefer to exhibit more? So most of us, we have a main style. Are there people who are in the center who have all 4? They do. However, human beings have always a default mode. Correct. When in army we call it breaking the people. So the reason why they want to break people, right, is so that we see their raw form without any facade, without any mask or any show being put on. Correct. And as such, we all human beings, we also have energy, correct? We get tired, we get emotionally drained, we get psychologically drained, correct? And we all have a default mode. But to answer your question, we can build range in learning how to play different roles at different times. We can do that. So there's a capacity for that. Yeah. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thanks.
Cool. Any other questions, thoughts? Cindy, I think I've seen you somewhere before.
Yeah, I attended your this workshop before.
Okay. Yeah. Do you attend any other one? You have you attended another. Have you heard of this company called The Thought Collective?
I don't remember, but I remember seeing you. I attend this workshop, an hour training.
I see.
2 hour or 1 hour, I forgot it. Through Sean also. Yeah, quite enjoyable thing to learn. Great sharing today. Especially this WhatsApp one, I quite like. Maybe
yeah, yeah, cool. Any other questions, thoughts, comments? No? All good? Okay, so maybe if I can help to tie into the previous topics that were being shared, you know, about the digital, about videos and stuff, correct? We can also design the videos very, very differently for different styles. For example, a D style person, just be straight to the point, what you're here for, what I can provide for you, done. I give it to you. I style people, make it fun, make it loud, make it extravagant. S style people, say this, I'm here for you, make it sincere, make it very, very sincere. C style people, give them facts, give them details, give them information. That's what buys them over. Correct. So that's how you apply DISC even in videos as well. Yeah.
I have one question using DIC. Can help me get like my audience who view my channel? So I don't know how to increase subscriber. So how to use this to help me?
Okay, cool. So remember I shared with you the population numbers just now. Here we go. Okay, so most of your people, correct? Remember I shared with you the numbers, right? These numbers, right, correct? They don't just apply in Singapore, but they apply. It's actually a global number, but it's been slightly changed towards a Singaporean number. Okay, so these numbers that I'm sharing with you is Singaporean context. However, the global context, I don't have the numbers, but it's very, very similar. Okay, if I'm not wrong, it only differs by about a couple of percent, maybe about 4 or 5%. Okay, so in a Western culture, there will be a lot more active people, a lot more. They voice their opinions a lot more. In the Asian culture, we have a lot more S and C style people, a lot more responsive. So to answer your question, how can we gear our content or the way we push out our materials, right? Correct. Or content, correct. Cater to the more, I want to say, cater to the more responsive crowd, because that's where your general population lies at, correct? Make things that are sincere. For example, this whole DISC wouldn't have been relatable if I didn't share that WhatsApp, you know, that carousel kind of thingy, kind of example, correct? And when people share that with an S style or C style, correct, it makes them feel that, hey, wow, this person is extremely relatable too, correct? And this person knows what they're talking about. Maybe I can trust them. Correct. So understand that because majority of the population in Singapore or regionally is S style, go to the more sincere route. Talk about stuff like, you know, family. Talk about stuff like, you know, the real life struggles in a Singaporean day. For example, wow, suddenly rain a lot, right? Talk about all the floods, talk about all the, you know, all those like tree fall down, talk about the auntie, uncle, the young kids nowadays, wow, you know, the auntie, uncle, wow, like that one, wow, you know, the young kids are this now, like that one, wow. You know, when content is being very, very relatable, correct, you will generally draw the majority of the population, which is your S style, because they are relational people. That makes sense.
Thank you very much for your tips. Thank you.
Cool. Cool. Any other questions, thoughts, comments?
Hey, Zenas, Sean here.
Yes, go for it.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you got no question, I would like to ask the last question already.
Oh, big one.
Okay, Zenas. Let's say if, right, okay, some of us here wishes to find out more, okay, on how they can apply DISC into their professions,
okay,
or maybe to the scope they wish to focus on, communication, team bonding, or leadership. How can they do so? How can they contact you?
And okay, I will try to make this transition as smooth as possible. So, you know, Sean, thanks for, you know, bringing this up. Yeah. Basically, if you want to, you can connect with me either via email or via my LinkedIn. So there are QR codes on the screen. You can just take out your phone, you know, scan the QR code, and it will automatically bring you to either an email or you can connect with me through LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me if you want to find out more about DISC or about the work that I do. Yeah, just drop me a message. I would love to connect with all of you. Yeah. So yeah, yes, Sean, thanks for that.
Yeah. Okay. So I think at this point in time, does anyone has any questions?
I do. Yeah. Question.
Yes.
Okay. Zenas, thank you so much for sharing. There's one concerns about coming from my coming from my business point of view, because from this association called Infant Massage.
Yep.
We have persuading parents, convincing parents that this kind of service is very good for them because it helps them to bond the kids and things like that. And now, based on the statistics, now I can understand why they are not responding. Because 69% are S and 17% are C, kind of thing. So I just based on the statistics, see what kind of can just satisfy them so that they are persuaded.
Okay.
Action you think has to be taken. If their majority are S, something, do they need to back? They know it's good, but they're not taking action. And S has this have this kind of like behavioral pattern that I know it's good, but yeah, so kind of thing, they must need to be pushed. And C is a person who they need to ask a lot of information, and there's already a lot of information out there.
That's right.
So I was thinking how I would have been able to strike a balance between the S and the C.
Okay, cool. So you've identified it correctly. C-style people, provide them with an FAQ, they love it. The thicker it is, right, the more the FAQ, frequently asked questions.
Yes.
Correct? Or like a brochure lah, correct? They have a lot of detail inside, right? Correct. Give it to them. Wow, they will go and read up, and when they want, they'll make a decision if that is something that they are looking for. S-style people, how you do it? You hitch on their kiasuness. Okay? Hitch on their kiasuness. By saying things like, it is a limited time offer. Correct? You wait too long, might not have any more. And understand this, S-style people, remember, they are people oriented, they're responsive, correct? Bring it to them in a way whereby this adds value to not just you, but the people around you, the people that you care for, the people that you love. This adds value to them. Don't do it for yourself, do it for them. Wow, then the S-style people are like, wow, why you like that? Then they will struggle with that question. Then you tell them, hey, actually this thing limited time offer, take it now. I give you special price.
Interesting. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Must invite you to share with my association members.
Sure, connect with me. Let's see.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Any other questions? No? Cool. Any feedback? Yes. Or Jimin, is this the time for feedback now?
Well, I think it's overtime already. But anyway, anyone can give feedback. Yes, any just feel free to give feedback. Okay. Any response from the rest? Any feedback?
No.
Okay.
No worries.
If not, then I would like to thank Zenas for a job well done. Thank you very much for sharing with us DISC. Although I've heard of it some time ago, but I think yours is the most impactful presentation I've heard on DISC.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing with us. Very humorous. We got the key ideas, and I think many of us will be curious. What's the next step? How to use the principles to apply to our situation. I think that's the most important. Everyone is asking the same question. So thank you very much, Zenas, for coming here to share your knowledge and experience. Please give him applause. No?
Thank you.
So, okay, we are at the end of meeting, but in case some of you may want to join ASPS, I think behind me, the screen, let me lower down. Okay. You can see the ASPS@gmail.com, and there is a website. Anyone who is interested to join ASPS for meetings in future, to be a member, you are welcome to do so. And if you like to give a speech like what Zenas did, what Anthony and Catherine did, I think we are most welcome. Like, for example, Cindy, you talk about your YouTube channel. I think there's a good opportunity for you to come up.
Okay.
Share with us, but a lot